Okay, girlies. So we are in our friendship series. Yes, we are.
We are.
And we have a very special guest, a very, very special guest with us today that we're super excited to speak with. Miss Adrienne. Now, you guys have already got an intro to Adrienne. We let you know that she was a team member. She's one of Germany's best friends. She's a beautiful soul.
She's also been on the podcast before. In the earlier years of the show, her and Kayla were
Like
on the show.
episode 2, 3, or 4, or 5, whichever one.
Yes,
Yeah.
when we were talking about cohabiting, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's so true. I thought that and I was like, was that just a thought or did we actually do that?
No, we
That
actually
happened.
did.
That happened in real life.
Yes.
It happened. Okay, so we're back at it again.
Yeah, and actually, this is a great day to be recording this episode because it's actually National Best Friends Day, and I am here with both my best friends. So this is super cute. Happy National Best Friends Day, y'all!
Oh,
I'm very excited. Thanks for being here today.
my pleasure. I want to throw up.
Oh no. Okay, it's gonna be
My
okay.
goodness.
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Okay, so let's preface this episode. Today we're talking about friendship makeups, and the reason why this conversation is gonna be so fruitful is because if you recall back in September when we did our friendship goals reloaded series, episode 210 to be exact. We were talking about friendship pain points, right? Some of the different pains that we go through when we're dealing with friendships. And Germany shared, as she has shared, how she was sharing a lot of times about this emptiness in her heart about a friend, a friend, and the friend was Adrienne.
My goodness.
The friend was Adrienne. Germany was broken down about this friendship. They had a break in their friendship, right? So in that episode, Germany shared that after 2 years, because this had been heavy on her heart, she was moved to reach out to Adrienne, right? So she was moved to reach out. And she didn't get the response initially that she expected that she was going to get. So we're going to share a little snippet from that episode. And then today, we're going to talk about that because obviously their friendship has been mended, right? So here's a snippet, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about it. We'll insert audio here.
I thought you were going to let her really hear it.
Oh, okay, let me play it. 1 second.
I mean, she doesn't really have to.
Right, you know what was
From
saying.
September, I remember that one.
Okay, you don't have to. You don't have to.
I remember. I listened to
You
that
were there,
episode.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said we'll see what happens. So Germany, we're here.
We are here.
And so
tell us what happened.
So I guess what happened is we spoke and I feel like there's a better way for us to we can just skip to the makeup, whatever. So after the episode aired, Adrienne called a few times in the morning because I had initiated the text or whatever, but there was it was radio silence. We weren't talking. And then early in the morning, she called and I'm like, okay, is this giving an accidental call? Because we don't speak on the phone anymore. So why would she be calling? But she called 2 times back to back. So then, and you left a voicemail and I was like, okay, it's a serious deal. You were like, hey, call me back. I want to talk, whatever. So I called back before I listened to the voicemail and I'm like, or I sent a text and I'm like, hey, everything good? Was that an accidental call? And we end up getting on the phone for a brief moment in the morning and you were getting everybody ready for, work and school. And we were just like, let's tap in after you're settled and when I get to work and we'll just sort of figure out what's going on. And when we got on the phone a few hours later, we were on the phone for like 2 or 3 hours, just sort of hashing out or I guess reliving how we got to this point.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, hashing out how we got to the point of like just not speaking over the past couple years. And it was just a very intense conversation. I think emotionally, especially for me, I was like moved to tears. I was crying. I was at work, I was crying, it was like a lot happening, right? I felt like I had this like weight off my shoulders. I felt like I was being heard and I feel like I was getting like answers to questions that I like was needing answers to because like I shared in that little snippet, when something is, if it's black and white and I know, okay, I know why we're not talking, I know why we're off, then I'm cool with it. I can detach fairly easy. But when it's gray, I need closure, and I'm like, what happened? So in that conversation, I feel like there was a lot of closure that I needed. And at that point, if we would have decided that we won't be friends anymore, I would have felt okay. And but luckily that's not how it went. But I feel like I would have felt like peace.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's what and now we're here. I don't know.
Okay, so let's
Now
rewind it
we're
a
here.
little bit. We're gonna rewind it a little bit to how we got here. Like, first of all, how you guys, your friendship origin story, right? And then we'll talk about how the break occurred, the feelings you guys were feeling during this period, this break, and then when you came back together. So, Adrienne, from your
Hmm.
perspective, friendship origin story, how'd you meet this girl?
Okay, so we were both okay, so we knew each other since the 8th grade. Like we knew of each other. We went to the same middle school. So obviously we would see each other in passing. I knew her name. I don't know if she knew my name. Germany was very popular. She's always been very popular.
Of course I knew your
So
name fully.
so anyway, we've known each other since the 8th grade, knew of each other since the 8th grade. Now we did not start speaking to one another until Spanish class. So we had the same Spanish class, and Dr. Evans. That was our first Spanish class
Oh
together, and we
yeah.
were yes, because remember you left Dr. Evans' class. It was like she's too hard.
She was.
I'm going over to I'm going over to
The easy
Baptista's
route.
class. I
I
need to go
had
to Baptista's class.
mhm.
Exactly. She's like, I cannot take Spanish 2 with her. So anyway, she that's how we kind of started talking and getting familiar with one another. But it didn't really like blossom from there. We were just kind of more cordial and stuff like that. Then there was one day, a while after, like we shared the same class. I met this boy at the bus stop,
Mhm.
and after like 2 days, he was like, "Will you be my girlfriend?" I'm
Oh,
like,
shit.
"Yes, of course. I'll be your hello." Okay, I said, "Yeah, I'll be your girlfriend, whatever." So then, not really knowing anything about him, like I said, I met him at the bus stop. I get a call from him some weeks later asking me if I know Germany.
Mhm.
So I'm like, yes, I know Germany. He's like, oh, okay. So then he says, that's my girlfriend. I'm like,
How?
okay.
Because you just
I don't,
asked me.
right, exactly. But I feel like what I think it was because apparently he had called her at the same, around the same time. It was like, do you know Adrienne?
Mhm.
Mhm.
So when I guess he was just feeling the pressure of like, oh shoot, they might know each other, and he just outed himself. He was like, forget it, I'm gonna blow this whole thing up on my own. So anyway, I think he gave Germany my number, and so she calls, and we're sharing this story. Like, do you know Chris? Yes, I know Chris, and blah blah blah. So there was no like girl beef between us whatsoever. We were
Mm.
both agreed.
Yeah.
He's raggedy.
Yeah.
Right.
He's raggedy. So anyway, but from there, after that, I think we spoke maybe 30 minutes, 20 or 30 minutes about him
Mhm.
and that whole situation. And then from there, we just talked amongst one another just about us, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then from there, it was like it spawned. It just
Yeah.
spawned from there. And
It
listen,
truly
since
did.
2004,
Wow.
here we are.
Well, thanks, Chris. You're
Here we
raggedy, but
Yeah.
are.
thank you, Chris. Raggedy ass.
Thank you. He brought it together. He
He
brought it
did.
together.
He was the piece.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so from there, after that encounter, you guys were just like two peas in a pod.
We were two peas in a pod. We had a larger friend group. There was four of us,
Mhm.
but
Right.
I feel like whenever you have a larger friend group, there's always like a subgroup of people who are
Yeah.
even closer. And Adrian and I have
Right.
always been very very close. Like you mentioned from when we just started hanging out and being friends, it always felt more like a kinship. We
Right.
had a very deep, intimate connection. Very, I guess, quick. It was very
Yeah.
natural, very naturally, very deep and
Right.
intense in a good way.
Mhm.
And I was thinking about this preparing for this conversation, and I'm like, I know why I really love you guys so much, and why you both are my best friends, because our relationships have never been very surface, and I need like depth from
Mm.
people.
Mhm.
So early on, like Adrian had, like there was a lot of depth in our friendship. So there was 4 of us, but we were always very close.
Mhm.
And yes, we were like
Right.
the 4 best friends that anybody could have. But of course, Adrian and I were the 2 best friends anybody could have within
Mhm.
the group.
Mhm.
And and I feel like we love the
Understand.
same. Like we love the same, like very emotional and just all in there. But yeah, and we did
Right. Clink, clink.
Yeah. The
Okay.
blood sisters. Swap a little bit
Okay.
of blood. You're here.
Right.
girl. But there was a little break in
Yeah.
our relationship. We had a break early on.
Okay.
Um,
Yes.
What
yeah.
year was that?
What year was that?
That was 2009. That was from about 2009 to about 2011. We had a little stint where um yeah, we had a break.
Yeah, we had a
Okay.
break.
It was
Another.
tight. I think we were just at that point, um to not to make a long story short, there was a conflict introduced into our relationship, like our larger group.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And I think we were so young, we didn't quite know how to navigate it. Like,
Yeah.
where
Mhm.
do our loyalties go? Who do they lie with? Do I agree with what's happening? Do I not agree with what's happening? If I do agree or if I don't agree, how do I still maintain this friendship? It was just a lot kind of going on. And we were 19 at the time,
Yeah.
not really knowing how can we navigate this very mature adult
Mhm.
situation. And so we kind of, and just not having language, not knowing how to discuss it, not knowing how to manage the conflict, or sort out the conflict, we all just kind of like went our separate ways. And then, I literally am getting goosebumps now, because like my friend did, just a couple of months ago, she did even then. It
Mhm.
was like, okay, come back to me now.
It
Come back
definitely
to me. We need
was.
to
So
It
you
we
initiated
need to
the
I did. I did. I
Yes,
said,
she
"Hold
did.
on, hold on,
She
hold on, hold on."
I
she
need
did.
this one.
I
Yes,
do
she
because
did.
although there was a separation, again, like I think I recognized very early on, like my friendships that are very important to me and that like me that make me feel like complete. You know, it's just like those little pieces where like, oh, that's a puzzle that's supposed to there's a piece that's supposed to be there. Whatever that is,
Mhm.
like if it's family, if it's partner, if it's kids, there's little pieces in our lives that make up a full complete puzzle. So when my pieces are out, I'm like, oh, there's something that's missing here. And even then I was like, all right, we got to figure it out, nigga, because I ain't about to go out sad.
So you reached out.
I did.
And that's what we did.
Yeah.
I did.
Did.
I reached out.
She reached out.
Hmm.
Okay,
Mhm.
so let's fast forward a bit. So you guys have rekindled from the initial break in 2009 to 2011
Yeah.
ish. So you guys
Yes.
are going back strong. That's around the time I entered the picture. So I knew that Adrienne was Germany's best friend. You guys had a great friendship. A couple years passed, and then we have the second break. We have the second break. So let's talk about that, because again, this girl was distraught. And I'm like, what's going on? Reach out.
My goodness.
What is going on? She was like, I don't know what happened. I just don't know what to do. But I know Adrienne, when she's done, she's done. And da 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 da. I'm like, girl, what the
Girl,
fuck? Because I just couldn't imagine. I couldn't
listen.
imagine. I too have another best friend, and I would be like,
Okay.
girl, fuck going on? What is going on?
Okay.
So let's talk about that.
Yes.
Where do we want to start? Do we want to start with how you felt, because you can talk about your own feelings, and then we can talk about how
Yeah.
Adrienne felt too, because there were two things going on here.
Yeah. So I think just for more context, I think it's important to highlight the fact that our lives for so long, like Adrienne mentioned, we have been friends since 2004, and our lives were kind of going in the same trajectory at the same time.
Right.
And around that time, like the 2000 whatever this was, just our lives started to go different ways. You know, I was just living this like young life out college doing whatever, and Adrienne found her husband and started to settle down and start their family.
Mm-hmm.
So we were just really being pulled in two different directions. And I think that when you're friends for so long, that's almost hard to accept and adjust to. So I think that was also happening. And I even then did not have language to say, I don't feel supported right now. I don't feel seen. This is the way I need you to show up for me as a friend. And and yeah, I feel like that's needed for context. So when the break happened, The podcast was picking up. I feel like there was a lot of things that were happening where I felt like I needed support.
Mhm.
And based on her life moving the way it was, she wasn't able to be there in the way that I needed her to.
Mhm.
So when our relationship sort of just broke off, it felt abrupt to me. It felt abrupt because I'm like, bro, like what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
things are cool, but then they're changing. I'm trying to accept the change. I'm trying to be cool, but then I can't because you doing this. So yes, when it broke off, it was very hard because I was like, I don't know why we're not friends anymore because it was quick. It was giving we're talking and then we're not.
Mhm.
It was quick
Yeah.
like harsh.
Was there a
Yeah.
conversation?
No, I told you. I remember how it happened. This is what I remember. The live show happened in June.
Mhm.
You did not come to the live show, which all is forgiven. Fine. I'm not upset about that.
Mhm.
But that happened. And I was a little at the time though, I was not happy. I was upset. I was very upset. I wasn't upset. I was disappointed. I was hurt. And I was like, okay, there was never a conversation around like, hey, I can't come because of this reason. It was like just no show, no call, no show. I said, what? And then when I was like, hey, I was waiting on some language like, hey, I didn't come because of this. And then when that didn't happen and we were talking about other stuff, I was like, what?
Right.
That I just could not understand that. So the day that I said, hey, what's happening for Judah's birthday? And you were like, it was short. You were like, nothing, we're taking him to the park or whatever it was quick. And then after that, we did not speak anymore. And I
Oh,
was like,
damn.
Mhm.
it was quick. It was quick. It was like around
Yeah.
July. And
Mhm.
then I was like, oh, well, I guess, damn, can't he come to the baby's birthday? Ain't nothing happening for the baby. I'm like,
Mhm.
all right. And then I took a back seat and then we just did not talk. So feelings were hurt. There was never
Mhm.
any answers. And I felt like I was reaching for something that wasn't there and it wasn't being reciprocated. So yeah, heart was broken. I
Mhm.
I was ate up
Mhm.
inside because like I said, I didn't have any nothing. It wasn't like any like real reason to
Yeah, it
fall
wasn't
out.
like it was like a blowout or something to really hold on to.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't. So
Right.
I was ate up inside. I said, this girl has a piece of my heart and she's just ran off on the plug.
Yeah, the heart kept breaking with
It
this
was
one. Every time it would be she would be like, and not Adrienne. Even Kayla was like, reach out to your friend.
but
Reach
that
out
was
to
way later.
right.
That was around the
But
time when
that's
this
why the hurt
episode.
was still there.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, so Adrienne, what were you thinking during this time? Like how was it going for you?
Okay, so first, what I'll say is that one of the things that Germany has taught me about friendship and relationships is support your people how they want support.
Mm,
It's not fair in relationship to dictate how you are going to support somebody. Well, this is just what I do, and this is just how I do, and I love you, and this is how I show up for you. But if that's not how they receive it, and if that's not the type of support that they are looking for in the moment, or in general, then either be adaptable or move out of the relationship so that way somebody can come in that is going to be flexible and adaptable, and accommodating and loving and all of those different things. I will be totally transparent in saying I was not that at all. That I banked on the fact that Germany knows I love her,
Mm,
mhm.
right? Like that was what I banked on. Germany knows I love her, and I would tell my husband all the time because I would be over here too, Germany, you know, you know, at the same time. But one of the things that I continue to express, to him over and over and over again is they know that I love them. Like they know that I love Germany knows that I love her.
Mhm.
Jop knows that I love her. Period. Like it,
Mhm.
and so but that was extremely unfair. It was selfish, it was unfair, it was self-serving. It wasn't kind, it wasn't gentle, it wasn't any of those things. Um and it was not loving, right?
mm,
Like it was not loving. I was not demonstrating love whatsoever. So that's I will absolutely take full accountability for that and say that going forward I am a lot more mindful.
mm,
I'm a lot more mindful. And I told Germany too in the once we kind of started talking again, hey, listen, I may not show up to every single thing, right? Like I have I may not be able to show up. I got these babies. I
Right.
got this husband. I got, I got this stuff. However, I know that these things are important to you. So I will make a point I will make a point. If I don't show up to, if there's 4 events and I can't show up to two, I'll make sure I show up to the other two.
Right.
Right.
Come hell or high water, I'll make sure, because I understand that that is important to her, right?
Mhm.
Like, I understand that that is important to you. And so I'm, again, a lot more mindful of that. Your birthday is absolutely,
Mm.
I should have it tattooed right here,
You
so
Right.
should.
that way I can,
1017.
because because I
Hmm.
know. Don't forget that girl's birthday,
Because one
okay?
time, one year, you did. I said, "This girl
I
forgot my
did.
birthday."
Every
I
birthday
did.
she'll
And
be like,
again, and again, and again, and again. And I forgot her birthday
Hmm.
by a day, by a day.
That's a
And
lot.
yeah,
I know. I forgot
like
her birthday
girl.
by a day. And I said, ooh, I know she's gonna be mad at me. But again, at the time, banking on the fact that, girl, I love you. I
Right.
love you. I got you. I'm here. And she was like, no,
No,
not
it's
good
not
enough. That
giving.
doesn't, nope, nope,
Yeah.
nope, nope, nope.
It
It
didn't.
doesn't work out. So anyway, fast forwarding to, fast forwarding to more recently, um or to how we kind of, you know I don't want to say split. It wasn't a split, it wasn't a breakup, it wasn't, to me. I was in this space where I was crying out for God, like,
Mhm.
I really was. And I said, when my daughter was one, I remember saying, going into the new year, Jesus, I want to know you for real, for real.
Mhm.
I don't want to play any more games. I'm not interested in just going about it how I've gone about it. I'm not interested in just doing church. I want to know Jesus for real. I want to know you for real. And and I begin to passionately pursue my relationship with Christ. Always, having grown up in church and gone to church and been saved, but I can honestly say that I was not passionately pursuing my relationship with Christ. I made a decision to do that. And so over time, that was maybe, I said that in, I think, like 2017.
Mhm.
Yeah, 2016, 2017. And come 2018, he was like,
I'm here, girl. You called on me.
uh, Kima,
You called. You rang.
come on, come on, come on. And so I would be at the, and so I would take these really, really long walks,
Mhm.
with the baby. And while I would be on these walks, um, when I would be on these walks, and I'm just going to say it because it was absolutely my experience, the Holy Spirit began to speak.
Mhm.
And it would literally feel like, it was like, if you are driving down the street and the light is green and you're just driving down the street, and here comes a a 18 wheeler that just
Stops
t-bones
you.
you.
Mm-hmm.
That is how the Holy Spirit was when it came to my thoughts. My thoughts would just be like, okay, we're thinking, we're moving, we're going, da 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 da, and the Holy Spirit would have something to say and just t-bone my thought with something that was like, wait, what?
Mhm.
Okay, wait, where did that come from?
Mhm.
And so, because it was new, it was unfamiliar, I didn't quite know how to process it, what to think about it, and how to move forward with it, or whatever. But I just kept going back. So every day I would go to the park and I would be like, okay, I'm just waiting for you to say something else. I'm just waiting for you to say something else. And so as I continued to do that, I heard one day, it's time for you to walk away.
Mm.
And my heart sank. I literally, right now, even as I'm saying it, my heart sank. I said, wait, hold on,
From what?
hold on.
That would be me.
Okay,
Walk
I'm like,
away from what?
it's time to walk away. So I said, okay. And so then I'm walking at the park a couple days after that, and I'm listening to a sermon, and I hear the pastor say, some of you guys are going to have to take, after this, some of you guys are going to have to send a text message saying, it's not you, it's me, I got to walk away.
Mm.
And I said, Lord, help me.
Mhm.
Okay. I knew what he was saying. I knew what he was saying. And so I said, okay, all right. The next thing was, a couple days after that, as I'm processing, I say, okay, God, now what do I say when they ask me
What's going on?
where I'm going or what's
Right.
going on? And so what I what I heard the Lord say is, tell them that you have been consecrated. And I said, nope,
Didn't
I'm
listen to
not doing
that
that.
piece.
I'm not doing that. It's too deep. It's too spiritual. It's too like, what? What are you
Mhm.
talking about? What does that even mean? You've been consecrated. What?
Right.
So I didn't. I didn't. And I didn't. And I just let it fade. I just let it fade to black. And
Right.
over the course of 2 years, I was in one of the most intense processings, maturation seasons, tear down, build up, come here, go back, like this, okay,
Mhm.
of my life, of my life. And so when I got the text from Germany in September, when I got the text from Germany in September, I knew I was coming out.
Mm.
I knew I was coming out. I knew because I had heard it. And so I knew I was coming out. And I said, I'm not ready to go back outside. Like
Mm.
I'm not ready to go back outside. I'm not, we've been in this and
You're
it's good
comfortable
here.
now.
I'm
You're
not ready.
comfortable.
I'm comfortable. I'm not ready to go back outside. But I knew I was coming out. And when she sent me that text, I actually thought it was somebody else, which is why it was cold because
Mhm.
I meant it to be that way.
Mhm.
I'm not going. I know I'm not going back to you. That's for sure. Okay, it ain't you. So anyway, when I get this text from her, I'm like, okay. I think she said like, oh, how are you doing or whatever. And I think I said something very PC, like, I'm doing well. Thank you very much for asking.
Yeah.
You have okay.
It was
Peace
along
out.
those lines.
Yeah.
Right. But then, I don't know if it was like the next day or later on that day. I'm like, was that Germany?
Mm.
Maybe I was Germany. So I reached out to someone and said, confirm Germany's telephone number for me, please. So the person did, and I said, oh shoot. I called my husband. Germany just text me. So then so then I go and I'm listening now. I'm like, okay, let me go. I gotta go listen to the podcast. It just so happened that you guys are now talking about this.
Mm.
And I'm listening and I said, that just happened. That was us. They're
Right.
talking about me.
Mhm.
Me. So it was 6 o'clock in the morning. It was
Mhm.
6 o'clock in the morning, and I was on a walk. And I said, I was on a walk, and I called her. Actually, before that, I was walking at the park, and I was praying about it. And I said, Lord, whatever you want to do, because I already know whatever you want to do. So I sent her that text, or I called her, and she didn't answer. So I called her again, and then I left her a voicemail. And I think on the voicemail I said, "Hey, it's Adrienne." I listened to I said maybe something to the fact of to the point of like I listened to the podcast and this that and the third thing. And whatever goes on from here, what I want you to know is that I never stopped loving you.
Mhm.
Like,
Aw.
let's be clear. I do not want you to think whether you call me back or not.
Mhm.
I do not want you to go into the next minute thinking that I do not love you,
Right.
Mhm.
because I absolutely love you. Um,
Oh my
and then
eyes.
from
Yeah.
there, God is good and the rest is history. And here we go.
This is true. That is
Here
how it
we are.
was. Here we
Here
are.
we are.
And it's
Yeah.
a full circle moment because when she was like, "You did not come to the show. Now you're planning shows.
Right.
You didn't make it to that one, but now you're planning them."
And that's it.
This
And
is
And
that's
that's
how
true.
it.
that got worked out.
This is
Yeah.
true.
So, you guys made up.
Mhm.
So, during like this time, both of you, this question is directed at both of you. Do you wish that there were things that you would have done differently?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I shared this with Germany that what I what I when I ask God, what do I tell them when I leave? Like
Mhm.
if they ask me what's going on, what do I tell them? And he said, tell them that you've been consecrated. I absolutely should have followed that instruction, because what I've learned what I've learned from this situation is that the instruction of God is wisdom.
Mhm.
Mhm.
It
Mhm.
is wisdom, right? And so because I did not follow the instruction of God, I then Germany then became a casualty in my disobedience,
Mm.
Mhm.
right? Like I did not do what I was supposed to do. And so as a result of me not doing what I was supposed to do, I broke her heart and I
Mhm.
cost her 2 years of unnecessary pain and frustration and all of those things. So what I have absolutely going back to 2018, 2019, what I've absolutely said, hey, listen, this is where I am in my life. this is what I'm hearing God say. I don't know how long this is going to take, but I'm just going to go along. I'm just going with it. Please know that I absolutely love you. If we do not talk, this is no, there's no beef, there's no love lost, there's none of that. I love you, but I'm going to go follow what God is telling me to do next. And I believe that because of our relationship, because of who she knows me to be, um, and because of how she loves me,
Mhm.
that it may have still it still may have stung, but at least it wouldn't have left so many questions and
Right.
so much, all of this undue and unnecessary turmoil,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mhm.
Like it wouldn't have done that. So would I've absolutely done that differently? Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes, I agree. That's a great
Yeah.
change.
What about you?
Yeah.
Um, I think, I think, I think that it was great. Maybe I was being obedient and I didn't know for not reaching out to her seriously
But
because there was a lot of times when I wanted to reach out, but I
every
don't.
birthday.
Yeah, every birthday. I said, "Should I send her a card?"
Oh,
But I'm glad that I didn't because I feel like it would have just interfered with. I don't think you probably would have had the. I don't think it. I think it would have been more difficult to be like, "This is where I am right now," and maybe at that point I probably wouldn't have understood. I don't know. It probably would have even been more convoluted.
right.
So it was best that I didn't reach out. I think just in terms of what I could have maybe done better as a friend in general, which is hindsight is 2020, and maturity and age is really a blessing when it comes to friendship and sisterhood. But I think what I wish I would have done was like not made you feel badly for where you were in life and where I wasn't. Maybe like the difference in our journey.
Mhm.
Being like, you need to do this, you need to do this, you should be doing this, you should be doing this, when that's what I was doing. It's like all because I'm doing it doesn't mean that's what you need to be doing, and not being as vocal about it. That's what I would say I could have done better. And I would encourage people who are also the young queens who might be experiencing this sort of like contrast in their friendships, or they're recognizing that my friend's going this way and I'm going that way. A lot of times, because you have like no filter with your friends, you feel like everything is up for like discussion or everything is up for grabs when maybe it's not.
Mhm.
So I feel like that's something that I probably could have done better or differently had I known better.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah, it could put a lot of
Pressure.
unnecessary pressure on the person on the receiving end,
Hmm.
because the changes that she were made that Adrienne made in her life were great changes, right? Like
Yeah.
having children, having a husband, things that a lot of us aspire to do. And that does require a shift. Her responsibilities are changing. The way I was able to show up as a friend before
Hmm.
is no longer the priority. Not meaning that you're not important and I don't care about you and I don't love you, but there's been some other people who are now filling this space who require more of me. So I'm gonna have to pull back a little bit in order
Right.
to show up for the people that are actually depending on me.
Yeah. This is true.
So that was good. So if you guys didn't ever speak again, how would you feel? Like, would you be okay, Adrienne, if Germany would have never reached out? Would you have been okay?
I think, and I shared this with Germany too. I was always lurking. I was always lurking. I was always,
Had
what's she
your
doing
eye
over
on
there?
her, right?
For sure. What's she doing? What's she doing over there? Okay. It'd be talking to Alice, like, yeah, Germany just went to Coachella and they just had a look,
Shit.
showing the pictures, right? I was in it, okay. I was all in the mix. And so, but what it felt like then, although I was where I was supposed to be, it felt like the picture in the movies where you see the man standing outside or the woman standing outside and it's pouring rain and the hair is there and they're looking
I
inside
can't.
of the window and all
Mm-mm.
they have and the family is having dinner and looking pitiful,
No.
looking pitiful, okay, looking pitiful. And so I think that is how I that's how I kind of felt. That's kind of how I felt. Like I was on the outside looking in. Although I was very proud, right?
Right.
Very proud of, like what you guys were accomplishing and things like that. And I was also secure in knowing like, okay, she's not by herself,
Yeah,
right?
you
Like
always say that.
she got Brittany. She
Yeah.
got Brittany. She's not by herself. Brittany's holding it down for us. She's
Yes.
making sure she's straight.
Mhm.
You know. But no, I think I would absolutely probably still just be like, I'm on the outside. But on the other hand, I feel like the instruction of God is wisdom. And so if I'm following the wisdom of God, then I know, okay, well, his word says like all things, that all things work together for the good of them that love God and are called according to his purpose. And so, Father, if I am walking in alignment, if I'm in alignment with your purpose, then I know I'm not going to be sick forever. I'm not going to be hurt forever. I'm not going to be struggling forever with this.
Yeah.
And so I could freely from where I was still bless you guys, right? And say,
Mm.
I may be on the outside, but God bless everything that they're doing, right? Like breathe on it. And so yeah, it's just, but I listen, many a
I would have been
times I was,
sick.
I'm happy we can feel the breath
You-
that's being
yeah,
breathed on us now. I want to feel it.
many a times I was like, oh, well, there she is.
no, I would have been
There she
sick.
is.
I would have been sick. You already know. My sickness was layered because not only did I lose my best friend, right? But then like I
Yeah.
lost your children and you
Hmm.
already know how me and
Yeah.
Kingsley gang. So I was like,
Right.
"Oh my god, like she's just completely taken everything away and just ran off." I'm like, "The kids, child? I can't
My
I'm
goodness.
like I can't have a relationship without the kids if I ain't cool with the mama. Me and the
Right.
mama ain't gang and how I'm gonna be like, can I
Right.
speak to the kids?" Because
Right.
for a while, Kingsley and I were on that
A
FaceTime
co-parent.
day to day. And I'm like, I can't even
Right.
FaceTime the baby.
I
I
know.
said, I can't even
Yeah.
call her on her birthday because it's going to be awkward. It's
Yeah.
going to give us your
Right.
mom around.
Right.
Like, it's too
Right.
much.
Right.
It's
Right.
too much. But I would have been devastated.
Hmm.
I would have been devastated. I already know it. I would have been devastated. There are a lot of friends who come into my life and not a lot, child. But there's been some relationships which were really strong at one point, which maybe are not as strong now. And I don't feel like I'm yearning for their presence, right? I'm not feeling like I got to go mend that thing. I got to go
Yeah.
figure it out.
Hmm.
But um this was not that. So I don't feel like it would have been too long before I was like, all right, something's got to give.
Yeah.
Because I'm a deep feeler. I'm an emotional person. I would have been like, look, I don't really know what your beef is with me, but look, what?
Let's fix it.
It would have gave what? What
Right.
is up?
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah, eventually it would have
Right. Right. Right.
came to a head.
Well, I'm glad.
No.
I'm glad that you all are back in each other's
I
lives.
have a question for you.
Yes.
What?
How did you feel when Adrienne and I decided to rekindle? Because for a long time, I mean, you already know how we rocking like a cut off stocking. Brittany and I are like, together all the time. We live very close to one another. We do business together. So having Adrienne come back into my life, and then there's like, oh, my other best friend is here. How did you feel?
I felt good about it because um of course, every time when you were saying that you reach out, I was always encouraging that because I know how much you were affected by the loss of the friendship,
Mhm.
and I know that what me and Adrienne give you is unique and different in our own way. So it's not like, oh my God, Adrienne back now, I'm gonna get kicked to the curb and she gonna forget about me. Like I felt good because I felt that you would be happy,
Yeah, you're a good
and now
girl.
I've
Oh,
even benefited.
Yes.
So it's been great, honestly,
we
truly.
skin bonding. We skin bonded. Listen, we skin bonded. It's
It's
official.
been good. It's been good. And I mean, I
It's
know we
official.
already know that I'm possessive. Like I have a possessive
Mhm.
nature, but if it's a safe person and a person that is good to you, then I feel like yes,
Yeah.
be here.
Yeah. No,
Shit,
yeah. It's a
so
good vibe. It's an amazing vibe. I'm very grateful that you're here. And I'm grateful that you're back in the capacity in which you are here now. Like, we've been alluding to, and we haven't even been alluding. We've shared Adrienne is an active member on our team.
yeah,
She, is
Yeah.
team BGB and just what even said? She was like, so Mo really working with y'all, huh? I'm like, yeah, girl. She was
Oh,
like for real, for real. I said, yes.
hmm,
She was like, she's a good person for that. She has the energy for that. I'm
yeah,
like, this girl does.
she's a great
She's
person.
a shark.
listen. I love that. I love that Wookie. I
Yeah,
love that Wookie. My goodness.
Yes. So I think we should share some tips
yeah,
for how to make up with a friend. I think that would be very beneficial to our girls, and we can elaborate on them, make some up, whatever we're feeling like doing. But
Got it.
I'll share.
boss. Should we let Adrienne go?
Do you want to be a part of this part or you want to break away?
No, I can. I can. I
Okay.
got what you call it.
You have 10
I
minutes.
I just have to walk. I got 13 actually.
Oh, okay,
I
cool.
just need to walk out of the door. I need to walk out of the door by
Period.
5:15.
Okay, let's get it.
Yeah.
So I'll start it off.
Okay.
Okay, so first tip is to decide to make the first move. This is a very important tip, right? So a lot of times our ego, our pride can get the best of us, and it gives like, I'm not making the first call. If she don't want to talk, she don't gotta talk. But I feel like once we relinquish our ego and our pride and just move in the way we really feel and pure intentions, then a makeup can occur if
Mhm.
it's for the best.
I agree. I'm not always good at making the first move. I could be very stubborn and like, okay.
Even if you love a person,
Sometimes it might not be for a long time, but I'll be like, well, I'm over it.
I'll be like that with niggas, but not with my friends. I'm like, fuck them. We could be broken up and done. I'm like, I ain't calling you, boy.
Oh my.
That's my
Mm.
that's my tip.
Okay. Okay.
Can I give a tip?
Of
Of
course.
course.
Oh, my tip would be my tip is for those who struggle with receiving. Um, you are more than worthy of receiving love and kindness and compassion and understanding. You are worthy of that.
Mhm.
And so when someone comes into your life, or you have someone in your life, and maybe there was for whatever reason like a split, and they initiate, um, if the only thing that is standing in the way is you and not them, like,
Mm,
really the issue was me, it wasn't them or whatever,
Mhm.
sort out yourself and acknowledge that you are worthy to receive and receive.
mm-hmm.
Mm.
Around the time that Germany sent me that text, I was actually, a little bit before that, I was struggling with depression,
Mm.
heavy depression. And to be completely transparent, I was, also at the time while I was struggling with depression, I was struggling with suicidal ideations.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one night, it was like 12 o'clock at night, 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning. And it was pouring rain outside because apparently I like to be dramatic.
Oh
And I
no.
said, today, seriously, I can joke about it now
Yeah.
because God is faithful, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I was driving down the street, and I was driving down the street and I was headed to the beach because, again, I'm dramatic and I need scenery with
Oh.
but anyway, so I was driving down the street, and I my husband was calling me, and he's, and I'm ignoring his calls and all that stuff. And so I'm driving down the street and I'm crying. I'm like, you know what? I cannot, I just can't. I can't. I don't know. I don't got it. I just can't.
Mhm.
And so as I was making a left turn, and as I was making the left turn, I heard the Holy Spirit say, "I'm not gonna let you go."
Mm.
And I said, why? Please,
You're right.
please let me go. Like, please, I'm not gonna let you go. I'm not gonna let you go. Meanwhile, my husband is still calling and stuff like that. Long story short, I ended up going home and, got sorted out and got my head together and stuff. But when Germany sent me that text, and we were like, when we were talking, and she was expressing how she felt, I heard that again. I'm
Mm.
not gonna let you go.
Mm.
This is about to
Ugh,
eat me up. I don't want to cry
Now
here.
I'm
you know.
crying.
And that
So
I'm gonna
I
say
have a
something really
hard.
quickly because
It's okay.
Yeah.
How did it get here? It's okay.
that
Come, take your time. Take your time.
that really ate me up when you shared that with me. I felt I was so I was already emotional because we didn't have the friendship, right? But to know that like you were struggling so badly and so deeply in such immense pain, and like I know that you don't really have many friends and I'm just like, this girl was by herself.
Mhm.
That ate me up. I was like, Lord Jesus, if something would have happened to Adrienne,
It wouldn't have been good.
it would not have been good. I just would have been like, there's no resolve. I don't know. Oh Lord, thank you, Jesus, for covering, because
Yeah.
that would have ate.
It's okay. She's here. But I feel you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next tip.
Well,
Why we do that?
it's gotten there. These are
I'm
real
just
raw
saying.
feelings.
I'm just saying.
That just wasn't wouldn't have been good for me. Lord, I would have been like, now you gotta take me. Because
Lord.
and then you would have been
Then
here
I would
by
have had to
yourself.
go to no. Now I'm going
My
up
Y'all, it's a
yonder to
wrap.
be
Y'all,
with my Lord.
it's a wrap. It's a wrap. My
Now 3 of your daughters are gone.
It's not funny, and it's
It's
only funny
not.
because we can joke about it now,
Right.
but
Yeah.
yeah, okay, it would have been given, Lord, what's going on?
Yeah.
What have we done?
But receive. That's really the point that I was that's the point that I was trying to get at.
Yes.
We are worthy of receiving love.
Mhm.
We are
Yes.
valuable, we are precious, and we are worthy of receiving. And so when someone comes to you and says, I am not going to let you go, I don't know what happened here, I don't know how we got off track, but you are too valuable to me to let go. uh, Receive that. And I think in friendship, what I've always been like the tough friend, like I
Mm-hmm.
got you, whatever you need, like what we doing,
Yeah.
okay?
Right.
I'm riding with you. I've always been that friend, and so I'm just like that in general. But when it comes to and so I don't really look for people to be that for me.
Mm.
But what I learned is that I need to be loved.
Mm-hmm.
I need to be loved, and I need to feel safe. I need to feel um, protected in it. I need to feel protected in a sense. And I need to know that, you know, Adrienne, as raggedy as you can be, as whatever the situation is,
Mhm.
you're still mine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, so
I don't even
and
think the other
that's
tips
absolutely
matter.
what
Yeah. At that point,
I'm just
Google the
that's
what else
absolutely
to
what
do.
I felt. That's absolutely what I felt. That's absolutely what I felt. And so we're 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 here. We're here. So we're here. And that's why I said me and Brittany, we've skin bonded. Brittany is a part of Germany. Germany is a part of me. Then
Mhm.
we will be the three best friends that everybody can have. And then that's it.
And that's it. The other tips don't matter.
The other tips don't matter. I just want to give you your flowers, Adrienne, on air. You are amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm
Oh,
glad that you're here. I'm glad that not just because you're back in Germany's life, but just all that life, but all that you bring is very much appreciated. So
Yeah.
thank you. And I'm not
thank
gonna I'm
you.
not gonna break down.
She always-
Thank you.
I'm not gonna break down.
Thank you. Thank you.
You
Thank
already
you.
know how I
Thank
feel
you.
about y'all. I think this is the best day to do this episode, which is honestly,
Planned like
it
that.
was not planned, but you know what? Things work out the way they're supposed to work out, like you said,
Right.
Adrienne. All things work
Yeah.
together for the good of those who love the Lord. And that's the verse that I know, okay? Because I don't spit them off the
Okay.
tongue.
Okay.
I don't spit them off the
Okay.
tongue that well, but that one I know. Thank you again for being here. And y'all
Thank
cannot
you.
go find Adrienne online because we not gonna drop her tea.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, please.
We won't. We'll keep it sacred with us, but take these gems.
Yeah.
If it's on your heart to reach out to a friend, I hope that you're encouraged if it's healthy and if it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
This was great.
This was. I love you
It was
both
This
good.
deeply.
was.
Love you too.
Oh my gosh.
You should
Now
say
we're
you
in it.
love
Now we're
us.
I do. I love you. I do. I said it earlier. I love you guys. I love you guys tremendously. I just have not pounced on Brittany. I don't know if she can. I don't know
If
if
I
Brittany
can
can
handle
take
your
all of
rain.
my right because
It's a
I'm
lot.
girl. It's
Hmm.
hello.
But
Okay,
it's
it's
all
getting
good.
point
It's
boom.
good.
It's
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 getting
all
good.
good.
So
interlock.
thank you again for
Three
being
strand
here.
cord.
We are a 3-strand cord, baby. It's giving
Okay,
this
a
now.
three strand cord.
It's
Okay,
wrapped
we
in
in it.
there. Da. But y'all,
We
thank
in
you
it.
so much for listening. This was a great episode. Y'all already know what to do. We love you a whole lot, and we'll
Yeah.
see you next week.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Sit tight.
Well.